Hi and welcome. I'm Lily and on my channel I talk about books on a regular basis. All genres included, no exceptions. That's why today we're going to be talking about Demonslayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba by Koyoharu Gotoge. I'm sure I didn't pronounce the name correctly, but anyway, maybe you've already guessed it. It's about a manga, and I can tell you I had huge fun with it. I haven't finished the series yet, but I'd like to summarize arc 1 to 3 in this video, which equals book 1, 2, and the beginning of book 3. The sequels will be presented in the next videos. So, are you ready to fight man-eating demons? As always, brief the bullet points, something about the author, then it's on the summary, my impression and the conclusion. I'll give you the times in the description box down below and up here, so you can skip the parts you're less interested in. Yeah, Demonslayer Kimetsu no Yaiba is a manga, which is a Japanese comic written and painted by Koyoharu Gotoge. It is in a genre dark fantasy for readers 12 and up. It started to be serialized in 2016 in the weekly Shonen Jump, published by Shueisha, and has been completed in May 2020. There are 23 mangas of it, and 2019 the series has been adapted as an anime too, and you'll see I'll include the anime in this video as well. Every volume has 192 pages and takes a reading time of approximately 1 hour each. A similar manga is Tokyo Ghoul by Sui Ishida. There's very little known about the Japanese manga artist who writes and draws under the pseudonym Koyoharu Gotoge and was born on May 5, 1989 in Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. Gotoge never appeared publicly, and while the author hasn't revealed the gender either, a weekly Shonen Jump contributor revealed that Gotoge is a woman, which is why we assume it. In 2013, Gotoge debuted at the 17th Jump Treasure Newcomer Manga Awards with the one-shot work Kagarigari, which later served as the basis for Demonslayer. It was followed by 3 others. The first one was Monjushiro Kyudai, published in Jump Next in 2014, and Rokutsu-san and Haerima no Shikshak in 2014 and 15 respectively in Weekly Shonen Jump. And just for the record, I know I just butchered all the names, I know, but they are really hard to pronounce, so don't be too hard on me. Unfortunately, the Haerima no Shikshak series failed, so the editor suggested a series with an easy-to-understand theme, to which Gotoge created Demonslayer, that became one of the best-selling manga series of all time, with over 150 million copies sold. It was adapted as a successful anime, has spun off video games, toy figures, copycat products of the heroes' earrings, and Happy Meal stickers at McDonald's. The theme songs by Lisa are pop hits. However, Koyoharu Gotoge hasn't written any other serialized manga ever since. Demonslayer Kimetsu no Yaiba is the first full-length work. In 2021, Gotoge announced that her next project would be a science fiction romantic comedy. Her work has been influenced by Hirohiko Araki's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Masashi Kishimoto's Naruto, Tite Kubo's Bleach, and Hideaki Sorachi's Gintama. In 2020, she was awarded the Noma Prize and won the Best Screenplay Original Story Award at the Tokyo Anime Award Festival, and in the same year she won the Newcomer Award in the Media Arts category at the Minister of Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology Fine Arts Recommendation Awards. My God, this is a long name for an award. Yeah, in 2021, Gotoge became the first manga artist to be named Venoms in Time's annual list of the 100 most influential people, and additionally won many other awards. Yeah, I'll leave it to that. and would like to go on to the summary of Demonslayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. I also refer to the anime series. First, I'll give you a brief overview. The work is about the fate of two siblings. The hero is Tanjiro Kamado, who tries everything humanly possible to save his younger sister Nezuko, who has become a supposedly man-eating demon. Now Tanjiro is trying to find a cure for this condition, that is to turn her back into a human. He becomes a warrior, a demon slayer. These demons or oni, they are everywhere, appear in all forms and killing with different methods. So let's start with volume 1, Cruelty, chapter 1 to 7, which corresponds to the final selection arc, episode 1 to 5 of the anime. Half-orphan Tanjiro Kamado lives in the mountains with his mother and 5 younger siblings. They are desperately poor and have barely enough money to eat, so Tanjiro goes to town to sell charcoal. He is known for his extremely fine nose, as he can smell things for miles and detect scents that cling to people and objects. As it was getting late and the way back home is long and dangerous, a man offers Tanjiro a place to sleep for the night. There he learns for the first time about man-eating demons, so-called oni, who are killed by demon hunters or demon slayers. The next morning Tanjiro is on his way home. Even from afar, the smell of blood rises to his nose, and when he arrives home, he finds his entire family dead. Only his sister Nezuko is still barely alive. Tanjiro goes to get rescue for her in the city and notices that something is completely wrong with her. She looks like a demon and starts to attack him, and then they struggle with each other. Tanjiro detects a second unfamiliar scent about her, and he realizes she hasn't killed anyone yet. For Tanjiro begs her to fight against the urge to kill, and she regains consciousness. Then an unknown man with a sword arrives and comes to his aid and wants to kill Nezuko. It is Yu Tomioka, a demon slayer. Now Tanjiro does everything to prevent him from beheading his sister. He's begging and fighting for her life. It's not until Nezuko protects Tanjiro from Gyu that Gyu realizes that Nezuko really seems to be different from other demons. Although she's got demon blood in her wounds, and that's how demons multiply, Gyu has never seen a demon protect a human. He's also very impressed by Tanjiro's fearlessness and cleverness in battle and sends him to Master Sakonji Urokodaki so that he can apprentice with him to become a demon slayer as well. Gyu spares Nezuko and also warns Tanjiro not to expose her to direct sunlight because that will kill her. Tanjiro's goal now is to find healing for his sister and take revenge on the demon that killed the rest of his family. He gags Nezuko and carries her in the basket on his back, and as you can see, she can change her size so she fits in the basket, where she is protected from the sun. On the way to Master Urokodaki, the two fight a demon together who continues to fight even without a head. Tanjiro can't bring himself to kill the demon. Then suddenly, Master Urokodaki, his future teacher, comes to his rescue and takes him home. The master subjects Tanjiro to many tests and a hard physical training to sharpen his senses and to increase his reaction speed. He learns the various breathing techniques of water power, which he can use in the fight against the demons. Tanjiro practices hard because the demons, they can change their shape and have extraordinary abilities. They can only be killed by a special sword or by exposing them to sunlight. With the help of the two spirits Sabito and Makamo, Tanjiro manages to complete his training to take part in the Demon Slayer exam. This consists of surviving one night on Mount Fuchikazane, which is populated by hundreds of demons. Only glisteners, which are a natural protection against the demons, prevent them from escaping from the mountain. Over 100 candidates compete in the final selection process to become part of the Demonslayer troop, an independent organization made up of several hundred fighters. At the top are the 9 pillars, the most powerful swordsmen, so-called elite soldiers, but no one knows who leads the troop. Only a few examinees survived the night on Demon Mountain, and among them, in addition to Tanjiro, are the fearful Zenitsu Agatsuma and the self-confident Genya Shinasugawa. They are given their own raven to accompany them and convey messages and orders. Also, each receives a sword specially forged for him. All the while, Nezuko lays in Urokodaki's house in a comatose state of sleep, regenerating. Then, Master Urokodaki tells Tanjiro that his family was murdered by the over 1,000-year-old demon Muzan Kibutsui. Muzan Kibutsui is the first demon and the only one who can turn humans into demons, and that he probably also knows the method to turn them back into a human. With that, Tanjiro's hunt for Kibutsui has begun. So now let's go to volume 2. It was You, chapter 8 to 16, which corresponds to the Kidnapper's Fork arc, episode 6 and 7 of the anime. His first mission takes Tanjiro to a place where young women are being kidnapped by a demon into a stinking swamp under the ground. Fighting in the swamp against the demon, which can divide into 3 clones, Tanjiro is again helped by his sister Nezuko and the 11 forms of water breathing and the smell of the thread of the gap, the place where the demon is vulnerable. Before he kills him, Tanjiro wants to elicit information about Muzan Kibutsui from the demon, but the demon won't tell him anything. Now we go to chapter 11 to 17 of volume 2, corresponds to the new arc of the anime, the Asakusa arc, episode 8 to 10. Finally, Tanjiro arrives in modern Tokyo, a place that amazes the simple mountain boy. There he meets Muzan for the first time, who gathers around him in a group of 12 chosen demons, the 12 moons. Tanjiro almost gets his hands on him, but in the process he meets Tamayo and Yushiro. He is madly in love with her. These are 2 demons who live unnoticed and peacefully among humans as a doctor and assistant through the art of obscuration. They have experimented on themselves and freed themselves from Muzan's curse, so that the smallest amounts of blood which they get from injured people are enough for them to survive. They want to help Tanjiro find a cure for his sister. To do so, they need samples of demon blood, which Tanjiro is supposed to collect for them. In the process, they're attacked by 2 of Muzan's demons. One throws deadly balls that can change direction. The other demon throws deadly arrows that can change the direction of the sword's swing and cannot be cut. This fight is hard and they threaten to lose it because these demons regenerate much faster when injured. Together they finally succeed in defeating the demons. Tanjiro uses his water-breathing techniques against the arrow demon and Tamayo her magic scent against the ball demoness. That forces the demoness to speak Muzan's name, and so she's hit by his curse and dies. I'll introduce the following volumes and arcs in the next videos, otherwise this one would become way too long. Let's get to my impression. The theme on which this story is built is a perennial favorite: family love and a universal longing for a normal, simple life. And it's essentially a story of growing up and perseverance. Although In the first volume, Tanjiro's family is only briefly introduced. I recognized the strong bond between them and felt the security and affection within this family. For this reason, the destruction of this harmony after only a few pages shocked me all the more. I found it very believable that Tanjiro does everything to save his sister. In my view, the first volume emphasizes the close bond between the two siblings, which stands in stark contrast to the horrible demon world. And because nobody can help them, it's actually a story us against the rest of the world. Since Tanjiro's further actions are not only characterized by cold revenge, but at the same time he is the inexperienced yet fearless protector of his sister, he gained additional sympathy for me. We have a clear good versus evil in this story, which makes the background and the motivation of the main character easy to understand. The story is told tightly without overly complicating subplots or settings. I find this a good structure. I could fully concentrate on Tanjiro and his development, because as the story goes along, it becomes more complex with each new character. Especially in the second volume, I liked how Tanjiro's potential is hinted at, and I also liked the relationship between him and Master Urokodaki, who prepares him for the big test. And man, I love those breathing techniques. Also, the idea with Tanjiro's extraordinary sense of smell and how he recognizes the weak points of his opponents make his character more comprehensive, exciting and special in my eyes. We have a clear hero's journey then, the poor charcoal boy who thrives and grows on his journey and somehow never gives up hope, becomes the Demonslayer. He stays true to himself at the core, going his own way and trusting in his abilities, which I like a lot. Gotoke didn't create the characters flawlessly, but exploits their potential. Tanjiro is kind-hearted and has compassion even for the demons, and Nezuko's strength is also incredible because although she's a demon, she retains her own will. Then I would like to say something about the drawings. The drawings of the characters are okay, but not outstanding, especially not always the facial expressions, which of course is easier, thus better worked out in the anime. It is here where not only the facial expressions but the backgrounds and the design of the demons as well as the masks stand out. Yeah, this to my impression of volume 1 and 2 of the manga and arc 1, 2, 3 of the anime. Let's go to the conclusion. What can I say? Demonslayer is super entertaining, and not only but especially for all manga fans. The first volumes are the successful prelude to an exciting action-adventure shonen manga and quickly captivated me. It has great and clearly portrayed characters and a good plot structure that cleverly wraps Japanese folklore and quite a bit of morality in a modern and hip cover. It's a highly emotional dark fantasy series for all who dream of superheroes and brave fighters. I just had huge fun with it and was insanely entertained. Simply one of the best manga I've read so far. I can't wait to find out what happens next with Tanjiro and Nezuko and their adventures and who else they meet along the way. I'll report back, so be on the lookout. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.